Have you ever stopped to think that maybe the fear you feel in the dark isn't just psychological? What if I told you there's a place where that fear takes form, where it follows you, watches you, and seals every exit before you even realize you're trapped? I know it sounds exaggerated, like some cheap horror movie plot. But what happened in that abandoned hospital wasn't fiction. It was real, so real that not even the police could get out. This isn't about ghosts, it's about something much deeper. Something no one wants to admit. There are places in this world that simply do not accept being invaded. And if you're the kind of person who seeks raw truth, not the sugar-coated versions made to keep you comfortable, then stay. Because this story isn't just about an old, forgotten hospital. It's about a mistake that was made and keeps repeating itself with anyone who dares to walk through that gate. Saint Moriah Hospital was shut down in the 1980s after a string of unexplained deaths and disappearances that were never officially resolved. On record, they blamed lack of funding and structural issues. But the locals always knew better. They knew something darker was buried beneath the surface. Something time tried to erase but failed. On the night of the disappearance, 2 officers were dispatched after neighbors reported hearing screams coming from inside. Human screams, loud, desperate, like someone was being dragged against their will. The officers had done that route hundreds of times, but that night, everything changed. The second they stepped through the gates, their radio died. Their flashlights flickered, even with new batteries. And the atmosphere, it didn't feel abandoned. It felt alive. The air was heavy. The silence wasn't silence. It was as if the building was listening, watching. They walked down hallways that didn't match the hospital's blueprint. Doors that should have led to stairwells opened into surgery rooms. Windows that once faced the parking lot now showed nothing but endless darkness. And when they tried to leave, the entrance was gone. In its place was a cracked wall covered in scratch marks, as if someone had once tried to claw their way out and failed. That's when they knew they weren't alone. Footsteps echoed behind them, even when they stopped. Whispers said names they'd never spoken out loud, and the most disturbing thing was the constant feeling of déjà vu. Like they had lived all of it before, over and over again. The breaking point came when they found a room full of old records. Inside was a medical file that stood out. It was for a patient named Michael J. Green. But the photo wasn't of a patient. It was one of the officers, same name, same birth date, same face, filed in 1984. Over 30 years before he was even born. What started as a routine patrol turned into a loop. A trap no one escapes. A space where time folds in on itself, and victims become part of the building. Every scream heard from outside may have been someone trying to escape and failing, just like them. So let me ask you this. What makes a place refuse to let people leave? Can a location be so full of fear, pain, and despair that it becomes a living entity? Is Saint Moriah just a hospital? Or is it something else entirely? A prison made of walls and memories that feeds on the remnants of those who walked inside. Because if that's the case, maybe the people who disappeared are still there, trapped between time and memory, waiting for someone to hear them, or worse, waiting for someone else to join them. If this made you feel something you can't quite explain, comment down below. I'm here. Tell me if this got to you, because there's more. And the story of the nurse who never left will show you that Saint Moriah doesn't just trap people, it changes them.